Hello, class. I just wanted to start your videos off. I just wanted you to see my face. Good luck with that one. But anyway, just wanted you to see me. My name's Mr. Rayner. I'm your algebra teacher. We're going to start in section 1.3. This will be the first video. There will be probably several videos per section, but they will be numbered 1.3A, B, etc. And this will be the order that we cover your homework in. And it will also be the order that your homework is listed in MyLabs Plus. So we're going to get dive straight into it and go straight into the videos so that I can get as much covered with you as I possibly can. What we're going to do first in this very first section is we're going to look at adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. And the way I like to teach adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers is I like to do it just because a lot of students get confused with all of it. I like to teach it just like winning and losing money, because that's something that we can relate to. So when you're adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the negatives as losing money and the positives like you're winning money. So let's just go straight into our first examples, and we'll do as many of these as you can. Remember, you can pause this video at any time and rewind it and play it as many times as you want to play it. So here we go. We're going to dive straight off into it, and I hope this works out good for you. But anyway, here we go. First example. This very first example, -3 minus 7. So let's look at it this way. If you lose $3 and then you lose 7 more, what have you done? Well, if you lose 3 and then you lose 7 more, you have lost $10. So -3 minus 7 is -10. All right, let's do this one. If you lose $3 and then you lose 2 more, what have you done? You have lost lost $5, I'm sorry. Now, let's suppose you lose 3, so you're down 3, but then you win 7 back. So now what are you? Are you up or are you down? Well, you're up 4. Let's do another one. Let's suppose you win 8. But then you lose 10. What are you? You are down 2. Here's another way to look at that. Suppose you have $8 in your checking account and you write a $10 check. Then what does that mean? It means you are overdrawn $2. Okay, let's do another one. One that's very obvious. 6 plus 4, obviously. If you win 6 and then you win 4 more, you've got 10. Or if you win 6 and you lose 4, you're still up 2. Those are the easy ones. Those are the ones we do naturally. It's usually when they're both negatives or both positives. All right, so let's do this one. 7 minus 11. If you win 7, but then you lose 11, are you up or are you down? You're down because you lost more than you won. You're down by 4. If you lose 6, but then you win 10 back, are you up or are you down? You're up because you won more, so you're up 4. If you lose 3, but then you win 1 back, you're down 2. If you lose 7, and then you lose 3 more, what are you? You are down 10. If you lose 2, and then you lose 6 more, what have you done? You have lost 8. If you lose 3, and then you win 3 back, you're broke even. We call that 0. 0 is the only number that is not considered to be neither positive or negative. It is unsigned. Okay? Now this one, -9 minus 9. If you lose 9, and then you lose 9 more, you haven't broke even, you've lost 18. Now, let me take just a second and give you the mathematical rule for adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. The mathematical rule for adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers basically states this. Here's the rule. If the signs are the same, this is in adding and subtracting only. If the signs are the same, you add the two numbers and keep the sign. For instance, right here, these two numbers, the signs are the same. So you add the two numbers, but you keep the sign. But, same thing right here. The signs are the same, so you add the two numbers, but you keep the sign. But if the signs are different, the rule says you subtract the two numbers and take the sign of the largest. So right here, -3 plus 1, those signs are different. So you subtract those two numbers, which is 2, but you take the sign of the largest number, which is the negative, because it's in front of the 3. Or right here, the signs are different. So you subtract the two numbers, which is 4, and you take the sign of the largest number. But me personally, I like just looking at it as winning and losing. To me, that's just as easy as it is to try to remember the rules. But whatever works for you there, you do it whichever way you want to. Now, sometimes in mathematics, particularly early in this class, you will see what I call double signs. Double signs are two signs that are just back to back. Now, you'll usually see two kinds of double signs. Let me just show you what the picture of this first one is. This one right here. 7 plus a -3. The double signs right here. Anytime you see the double signs right here, what I always do, this is the same thing as this. Make sure that's on the screen. No, it's not. Sorry about that. Let me slide this over for you. That's one thing I'll have to watch out for. I'm kind of new at this, so y'all will have to bear with me. So, 7 plus a -3 is the same thing as 7 minus 3. So, if you win 7, but you lose 3, you're up 4. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So, anytime you see plus a negative back to back like this, you can take these two signs and replace it with just a minus. Now, you don't have to do that, but I typically do. So if I'm going to work this problem right here, -15 plus a -3, I would not work this problem from here. What I would do is I would rewrite it this way. -15 minus 3. And then I would work it. So, how do we work this? If you lose 15 and then you lose 3 more after that, what have you done? You've lost 18. Or another way to say that, if the signs are the same, you add the two numbers together and you keep the sign. Now, it is true that you can use your calculator in this course, but I would strongly suggest you practice these rules without using a calculator. And the reason is a lot of the things that we'll be doing in these problems when they start getting big is I want to be able to do some of this stuff in my head. I don't want to have to punch every little thing into a calculator. So the better I am at this, the better it's going to be for me. So really practice this whole first couple of sections without using your calculator. All right, now I said there's two kinds of double signs. This was the first one. The second type of double sign is what we call in mathematics double negatives. And as you probably remember, what double negatives do. Anytime you have double negatives, what we will do is we always rewrite double negatives as a positive. Double negatives gives me a positive. So, slide back over now to this problem. So if I have this problem right here, 8 minus a -3, double negatives, rewrite the double negatives as one positive. So I would rewrite that as 8 plus 3, and of course 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay? So let's do another double negative. So if I have negative 12 minus a negative 10, I've got double signs here. Anytime I have plus minus or minus minus, that's the only two double signs you'll ever run into in this course. I rewrite the problem first. So I would rewrite this as negative 12 plus 10. Now, if you lose 12, but then you win 10 back, are you up or are you down? You're still down by 2. Now, what if we have a string of terms that we're adding and subtracting? So let's suppose we have this right here. Give me just a second now. Make sure that I get it all in the window. Okay, that gets it right there. So let's suppose I have 7 minus 3 minus 8 plus a negative 3 plus 4 minus a negative 2 plus 1 minus 6. The first thing I would do, this is all adding and subtracting. Notice when I read that, you didn't hear me use the word times anywhere. Everything you heard was pluses and minuses. So there's no multiplying in this problem at all. Now, when I go to work this problem, sorry about that, I'll get this straight. Okay? First thing I will do is I see a double sign here and a double sign here. Now, what did we say this double sign right here will do? That goes to a minus. What does this double sign do? That goes to a plus. So what I'm going to do first is just simply rewrite this entire problem without the double negatives. So I'll replace that with that. I'll replace this with that. Now, go straight across. Go with me here. All right, you win 7, but you lose 3. So what does that mean? It means you're still up 4. If you're up 4 and you lose 8, that means you're down 4. If you're down 4 and you lose 3 more, you're now down 7. If you're 7 in the hole and you win 4 back, you're still 3 in the hole. If you're 3 in the hole and you win 2 back, you're now 1 down. If you're 1 down and you win 1 back, you're now even. And if you're even and then you lose 6, that means you have lost 6. So the answer to that problem right there is negative 6. Now, you're not going to have anywhere it's that long of a string. But that's how you can add and subtract a string of numbers together. Now, that's adding and subtracting with whole numbers. Now what I want to do is talk to you about adding and subtracting with fractions. Now, in case you've forgotten the rule with adding and subtracting fractions, here is the rule. Whenever you're adding or subtracting two fractions together, the denominators must be the same, because that tells you the size that they are. Like if you cut a pie into 7 equal pieces, this would be 2 out of 7 plus 3 out of 7. But the 7 pieces all have to be the same sizes. So your denominators in adding and subtracting have to be the same. So if I have 2 sevenths plus 3 sevenths, that means you have 5 out of 7. So the rule for adding and subtracting fractions is if the denominators are the same, you add the numerators or subtract by using these rules that we just covered, but you keep the denominator. All right, let's do another one. So if I have 3/6 plus 5/6, that's equal to 8/6. Now, remember whenever you're reducing a fraction can be reduced if there is a number that will divide evenly into the top and into the bottom. 2 divides into both of these. So I can divide 2 into 8 and 2 into 6. So this reduces to 4/3. So what this means is, if you take a pie and cut it into 3 equal pieces, 2 different pies, and you take 4 of those pieces, that's the same amount if you take 2 pies and cut them into 6 equal pieces, and you take 8 of those pieces. 8 over 6 is the same thing as 4 over 3. Now, if you're pretty good with math and you remember how to change this to a mixed number, you can rewrite this 1 1/3. In this course, we typically don't write our answer as mixed numbers. So whether you can or can't do that, don't worry with it because we don't write them that way. We will always reduce our fractions and leave them in simplest reduced form. Okay, so if I have 1 over 3 minus 8 over 3. Well, the denominators are the same. So the denominator will be 3. But now we're back to, if you win 1 and you lose 8, then what are you? You are down 7. So that's minus 7/3. Now, whenever you see a fraction written with a negative, it can be written this way or this way with the negative out front. Either one of those are mathematically the same. Now, let's look at this one. Negative 7 over 11 minus a negative 3 over 11. One of the things that you will learn about mathematics is how everything we do today affects tomorrow. That's what makes this course different. It's why it's important that you master each concept as we go. So, look right here, I have double negatives. We just finished talking about double negatives. What do double negatives give us? It gives us a positive. So this would be negative 7 over 11 plus 3 over 11. Now the denominators are the same, so the answer will have 11 in the bottom. Now, if you lose 7, but you win 3, well, we just finished talking about that. If you're down 7 and then you win 3 back, what are you, up or down? You're down. How many? By 4. Or, the signs are different. Subtract the 2 numbers and take the sign of the largest. So the answer to this would be negative 4 over 11. Now, I'm about to stop this video. I'll try to keep each video under 20 minutes because it's easier to download. But what we will do next is, what do we do, still in the same section, but what do we do in adding and subtracting fractions where the denominators are different? How do we handle that? We will do that in the next video.